Yep.
Okay, so welcome to this mindful yoga class.
Thank you.
So we're just going to really lie down and possibly just bend the legs and put the feet on the floor. Okay, so there's a little bit of a slightly more active position in this resting pose. So feet on the floor, knees bent. Okay, great. And I'm just going to invite you to close the eyes and just possibly place one hand just under the ribs towards the diaphragm. And so we're just going to start with a bit of attention to the breath in this lying down position. We won't be here too long, but just gently starting now to take the attention inwards. And taking the attention right down onto where the hand is and just below. And just starting to gently tune into the sensations of breath. And so when we start this practice of observing the breath with a mindful awareness, we can have this sort of curious attitude. So a sense of curiosity about the breath, about what could happen. When we do this practice, just by a simple observation of the breath can have quite a profound impact on the body. And so you might notice with the exhalation, there's a sort of movement upwards towards the chest, and quite internally in the body. Just a slight movement upwards. You might notice that at the end of the exhale, there's a pause. And in this pause, this sort of movement upwards carries on. This pause may be longer, it may be very short, doesn't really matter. And we can just start to feel our way into the body in this process. And this pause is a sort of emptiness in the body. Until the body then reacts and fills the lungs again with air and everything expands. And we can just simply watch this process. This process of life happening all the time. Perhaps we can feel the sides a little bit along. This expansion all the way around to the sides and the back, all around the bottom of the ribs. And gently now, we're going to expand the awareness and start to become aware of the whole of the body and while it's breathing. And gently now we're going to start to come back. So we're going to start to move the fingers a little bit, move the toes a little bit. And so while you're lying on the floor, we're not going to sit up. Oh, we've got someone else joining us. How lovely. Christine. Hi, Christine. Can you hear me, Christine? Can you hear me okay or not? Can you say something?
She needs to look at the microphone in the left-hand corner on the bottom.
At the left-hand corner on the bottom.
Microphone.
Is the mic. Can you hear me, Christine? Can you put your thumb up if you can hear me or not? No, there's no reply. I'm not sure if she can hear me or not, but I can see her. I can see you. Oh. Sorry about this, Kathleen. I'm just going
No, it's all right. I'm like, no. I have two Christine, Chris and Christine.
I don't know. Have a look.
Oh, is she there?
See if you know who Christine is.
Oh, I can't.
Like pause on our class now, I'm afraid. Christine, can you hear me?
Oh, it's Chris. Chris. Oh, she switched it off.
The video's gone. Okay, so let's carry on because otherwise we don't want to break up too much the flow of the class. If you'll join us. So lying on your back again, Kathleen and everyone else. So we're going to stay on the back and I'm going to invite you to just lift the knees up to the chest now. So bring the knees up to the chest and put your hands just on the knees. So just place the hands gently on the knees. And just allow the pelvis to really settle down into the floor. Allowing the pelvis to really settle down into the floor. And I'm going to go back now, so if you need to see me, you can. Okay. Okay. And so from here, we're going to very gently start to bring the knees down to the right side. So we're just going to gently take the whole of the right side and take it down to the ground. Okay. So our knees and our legs are just resting on the ground. And with the left arm, we're just going to gently open it out to the side. So gently opening out the left arm to the side. Then entering into a twist. And with the head, we could perhaps just gently start to twist it round to the left side. We could also just look up at the centre. And we'll just take a few breaths here. Just gently allowing the spine to unfold in this position. So there might be a gentle sense of letting go and opening in the spine. And now we're going to bring the knees up to centre and gently just bring them round to the left side, down to the ground. And then with the right arm, we're going to just open that up to the right side. And again, the head could just twist gently round to the right and look towards the right. And again, now from this side, just gently starting to work, relaxing it down to the ground. So really feeling the bottom hip sort of letting go into the floor. And seeing if we can allow the back, the spine to open. unfold, and just letting go of any tension through this gentle twist. And now inhaling the knees back to the centre, and we're going to twist them round and take them back down to the right side again, sorry. And this time we're going to, with the upper leg, we're going to stretch it out also towards the right side. So we don't have to have a full stretch in the leg, we could have the knee a bit bent. And we're going to unfold the left arm again, gently to the left side. And with the leg, we could just even gently move it up so that it's not touching the bottom leg. And so we're making a slightly more active movement with the right leg. Sorry, the left leg, sorry. My left and right isn't my strong point. So we're stretching that leg and it's not touching the bottom leg. There's a little gap. And there's a difference. If we lower it down, we can feel, oh, I'm doing a different kind of stretch here. Yeah. And again, allowing the back, the spine to open and unfold. The head could gently twist down around to the left. And then now folding the leg back and bringing the knees to center. We're going to do the same thing on the other side again. So this is just gentle twists with the back, and they're becoming a little bit deeper with each movement. So now stretching that top leg out, moving it away from the bottom leg, so slightly more active and dynamic stretch here. The head could twist or could stay in the center, and the right arm has unfolded again onto the side, out to the side. And again, I'm just really working a little bit harder in this twist, so it's not as passive as if you had as if the leg was on the ground, resting on the other leg. It's a bit more active. And now bending that leg back and moving back to center, and we're going to do another twist on the other side. So bringing both legs down to the ground again, and we're going to stretch out both legs to the side. And now we may want to open out the arm, but we may want to not, depending on how deeply you want to go into this twist. So if you feel that you're warm enough to go into this deeper twist, both legs are on the floor. The bottom leg is on the floor. The top leg is also touching the bottom leg for now. And if this twist is okay for you, you could also activate that top leg and take it up a bit. And again, this makes the twist deeper and more active. So you may feel, oh, I'm not ready for that. So really feeling into your back. So it's really important there's some conscious awareness of how deeply your body wants to go. So, you know, it's the morning, we've just started, so it may just be too much. So really feeling into the back, allowing the spine to relax and open. And then bending the legs back up to center. And twisting back down to the other side, lovely. That looks great from what I can see, Kathleen. And then stretching both legs out to the side, so down on the left side. And you could, you know, deepen with the arm stretch out to the right. And you could deepen a little bit more and lift the top leg up. But again, taking a time to feel into your back, listen to the body. What does the body need? What does the body want? It may say, no, I need to bend the legs. This is too much. And that's absolutely fine. What I want to teach is that you guys learn to adapt yourselves rather than forcing our bodies into postures, which seems to be an unnecessary thing to do. So bending the knees, coming back to center, taking the hands now onto the knees, and now just taking a few moments to massage the spine. So just making small circles with the back. Okay, good. So just taking these lovely small circles and feeling the nice massage into the lower back. You can do it in both directions. So slowing the movement down so you can, there's lots of nice conscious awareness of back. So we're not doing stuff mechanically, we're doing stuff with a conscious awareness. And now taking the knees and pulling them apart and making a wide circle and then closing them again, bringing them back up to the body, opening them, taking them round and out and down a bit, not much. So you're just drawing big circles with the knees. And there's a bit of opening in the hips. So have a look at me quickly, Kathleen, because we're not quite doing the same thing. I don't know if you can see me, but I'm actually opening one knee out to one side and one knee out to the other side and then closing them.
Oh, I see. I see.
You see that?
I see it.
Nobody will be able to see that from the side. So I need to this is all a learning curve soon. Great. And then maybe slowing down a bit, Kathleen, possibly.
I was trying to catch up.
No, there's nothing to catch up with. Slowing down, because then we can move into a really nice conscious awareness of movement, mindful awareness. If we go really fast, it's much harder. It's just more difficult. Okay, good. And then placing both feet on the floor again. Okay. And then on the right, with the right leg, we're going to stretch it up to the sky, and we're going to take hold of the right thigh with our hands. So we're going to take hold of the right thigh with our hands, and we're going to just move into a nice deep stretch of this leg. Again, the knee does not have to be straight. Yeah, it really depends partly on your flexibility and partly on your structure of your body.
Is it going up to the ceiling?
It is, yes. It's going up to the ceiling. And what I want you to do now is I want you to just relax the pelvis, the bottom of the back, and see if you can relax it down to the ground. And so there's a nice, so you can feel the lumbar curve. And so the stretch is coming from the hip. It's not, we're not stretching the whole of the pelvis off the floor. The pelvis is relaxed. So again, it's about, for me anyway, yoga is a sort of a way to let go of tension, not increase tension. And we often do it inadvertently when we practice. Just having a couple of breaths here. And now keeping hold of this leg with the right hand, so right leg is held by the right hand, we're going to open the leg out to the side. Open the leg out to the side. Again, how straight or bent the leg is doesn't matter, wherever you are with it. So I've got my elbow on the floor and my hand is supporting my thigh. And I'm doing a nice opening here. And my left hand is going down to my left hip, and I'm going to press the left hip down to the ground and see if I can just balance out the pelvis a bit, so the left hip isn't so lifted up off the floor.
Is the left one flat on the floor, Jackie?
Completely no. I mean, the hip isn't completely flat, but because that was...
Is the foot on the floor on the left?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
The leg's bent and the foot's on the floor, exactly. And I'm pushing gently my left hip down to the ground, so that I've got I'm a bit more centered in the pelvis. Otherwise, it's very easy to just lift the pelvis up, and then I'm not really doing so much work. Okay. And now inhaling that leg back up to center. Exhaling and bringing the foot down to the floor. Just taking a moment to just Make sure we bring that back, bring ourselves back to center. And now lifting the left leg up to the ceiling. Getting hold of the left thigh with the hands. I've got both hands are holding it. My fingers are interlaced. And I'm going to stretch my left heel up to the ceiling. At the same time, I'm going to relax my pelvis down and down. I'm really going to relax down the pelvis and stretch the heel. So I'm not stretching the back. Because as soon as we sort of stretch from the back, we're then producing a lot of tension in the back. So relaxing the back down, stretching the leg. So really the leg stretch is coming from the hip, which is where it comes from, the hip. Now taking hold of the left thigh with the left hand, I'm going to bring that leg out to the side. And at the same time, I'm going to put my right hand on my right hip and just gently press that right hip down onto the ground. So quite gentle, not forcing. Breathing, always breathing throughout all of this, trying not to hold the breath. And now inhaling the leg up to the sky, exhaling it down, bringing the knees up to the chest again, another massage with the back. So again, gentle, perhaps small circles with the knees, really just massaging the lower back. Great. Okay. I'm going to do one more movement, Kathleen, and everyone else who might be watching this later. And we're going to stretch both legs up to the sky. Now you could choose to hold the legs if you need to, or you could choose to do it without holding the legs, so just finding what you need. And again, seeing if you can just allow the pelvis to stay relaxed and in contact with the ground. And the heels are stretching up. But we're not for pushing or forcing. See if we can do quite a gentle stretch, as if we were stretching from the tops of the thighs. So it's as if, we're really deeply in the legs when we're stretching them. Making sure you're breathing, not holding. And now exhaling and opening both legs. And you could choose again to hold the thighs with the hands as you open the legs as wide as you can. So you may hold the thighs with the hands, or you may not need to. This really depends on the strength you've got, and it doesn't matter. And wherever you are is absolutely fine. And just holding here for a couple of breaths. Excellent, Kathleen, really good work. Really lovely. And inhaling, closing the legs, bringing those feet back down, massaging the back a little bit again. And then we're going to roll onto one side and we're going to come up onto all fours. So rolling over to one side and coming up onto all fours. 9 the time. Okay. Coming up onto all fours now. Yeah. Okay, so when we're doing positions on all fours, what I want to encourage is a really open, wide hand gesture, and also thinking about how you're connecting to the ground. So how am I in contact with the floor? A lot of the time we're just sort of not really thinking about it, but actually we're going to try to see if we can have the palm as flat as possible and all fingers well connected to the ground. So if we imagine our hands are our base, these are our sort of tree trunks. This is our connection with the earth and also our knees. Okay, so how are we contacting the ground? And we're going to do the cat-cow. So I think, Kathleen, you know that probably. Sounds like you've done lots of yoga. You know this one, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So off you go. If anyone doesn't know it, just have a look at the back. So the back sort of bends and curves inwards, and so my chest is falling down and I'm looking up. And then I do the opposite movement, so I pull the back up to the ceiling. And my head looks down underneath. And then if we can inhale, looking up. And looking at the knees. And we're just going to keep repeating this for a few more times. So we get attention in the back. Seeing if you can really keep your awareness in the back of the body. And this sort of really quite lovely mobilization of the spine, especially in the morning. It can be a really nice way to wake up the body. Yeah? So if you're not doing a yoga class, you could do this movement as a quite just general all body movement. It's quite nice. And then we're going to bring the body back to center. We're going to put the toes on the floor. Okay, put the toes on the floor. My hand's going to go forward a little bit. And we're going to move up into the dog pose straight away. But for this morning's dog, we're not going to go into the full expression of it. We're going to go up about a third of the way. So it's going to be a little bit more challenging. So I'm just going to take my buttocks backwards towards the heels. And then I'm going to kind of almost pop up a little bit. And actually, my chest is on my thighs. I'm just going to stay here, so I'm not coming up into the full expression of the dog. Not yet. Taking a few breaths here. It's quite a lot of work, yeah. Whenever I've had enough, I can bring my knees back down to the ground. Okay. I'm just going to rest in tabletop pose for a moment. Kathleen, did you find that quite hard work?
No, that was good.
It was good. Okay, we're going to do it again. So we're going to take the buttocks back towards the heels. Back towards the heels. And then I'm going to just gently come up a third of the way, or a little bit of the way. And now we're going to stay here for a bit longer. What you'll find as we sort of just stay in the pose is the body naturally unfolds into the full expression of the pose. So it sort of just naturally goes into it, and that's fine. So we're starting from this position, and then we just almost just let the body unfold into dog. And in your dog, I'm going to ask you to keep your knees bent slightly, always. Okay, so it's good to just slightly bend the knees in the dog pose, because this gives us lots of space in the back. As soon as we straighten the knees, we lose all the work in the lumbar spine, all the lovely space that we're creating, and it just goes, it disappears. So I never now really straighten my knees, straighten my legs in dog, ever. And keep them bent. So again, just stretching the pelvis up to the ceiling. And now we're going to exhale down to the floor, knees down. And from here, I'm going to put my elbows down to the ground. And I'm going to let my head gently rest on the floor or near the floor. As I move into this other it's a kind of a dog pose. Okay. And just feeling into the lower back, so depending on your flexibility, you may need to tighten the abdominals a tiny bit and sort of almost protect the lower spine. You may be able to just hang and let go in the belly and hang down to the floor. What I really want you to do is listen into the back. So is it good for my back to just hang? Or do I need to tighten a little bit in the abdominals and support the lower back? But for me, it's quite a nice position to just really let go of the belly, let go of the back. Okay, and then coming up onto all fours. Okay, we're going to have a go at our plank pose now. So again, I'm going to put my hands forward a little bit. I find that my shoulders are like to come up, I move forward in this pose. And I'm just going to stretch one leg and come up onto one toe, and then I'm going to stretch the other into the plank pose. So my shoulders are almost over my hands. Keep breathing, really important. Little bit of tension, activity in the abdominals to protect the lower back. I'm just going to breathe here calmly, but calm attention. So it's a strong pose. And then coming down whenever you need to. Fantastic, Kathleen, that you just listen into the body. Coming down, sitting on your heels, resting the head down to the ground in child's pose. So great, Kathleen. I'm really glad that you came out when you needed to come out, and I want to make that clear that there's absolutely no need to force yourself to stay in the pose at any time, and to listen to the body whenever you need to. Good. Okay, lovely. So now we're going to come out onto all fours again. Okay. And we're going to come into Cobra. We're going to come into Cobra. We're going to come down in a slightly different way, in where we're really listening into the back, and it's quite a nice way to come into Cobra. So I've got my hands a little wide on the mat, and actually I'm going to put them just outside the mat, so I've got lots of space, and they're quite far in front of me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
To come down, I'm literally going to just start to move the body forward and bend the arms. Move the body forward, bend the arms, and just allow the hips gently to come onto the ground. And I'm in this kind of gentle cobra pose. My arms are really bent a lot. And then I'm going to lower myself down to the floor. Good. Okay. And so we're going to do cobra. So the way I practice cobra is my hands are really wide. If I have my hands under my shoulder, which is the classic way of doing the pose, I have a huge amount of crunching in the lower back, and it feels very uncomfortable. So I just invite you to experiment. What's the best cobra for you? So I'm going to put my hands right out to the side, really open. I'm going to inhale down here on the floor, and I'm going to exhale and push up. Now my cobra, I can come all the way up. I'm straightening my arms, and my lower back feels very comfortable. Okay, so this might not work for you because you have a different body to me, and you might need to have the arms closer to the body. We're just going to stay here for a few breaths. My shoulders are back and relaxed. Jaw is open. I'm slightly looking up. I'm feeling a lot of connection with my hips and legs in the ground. My buttocks are very slightly engaged. And there's a sort of feeling of the spine almost elongating down towards the buttocks. And sort of sinking, almost sinking down into the ground. It's a very pleasant feeling for me. And exhale down to the floor. Okay. And then we're going to push up and come back into the child's pose. So just giving the back a little bit of a different expression, a different position. So coming down into child's pose now. And taking a rest. So fantastic work, Kathleen, looks great. Or you would like to rest maybe in an upright position, that's absolutely fine. So we're going to come up onto all fours, and we're going to do those movements together. So we're going to come up and we're going to do dog, plank and cobra and child as a sequence. Okay, so we're going to start in our tabletop pose, put our toes on the floor, our buttocks back towards the heels, pop up into dog. You're going to take 3 breaths. Again, knees are bent, slightly bent. Pelvis is moving up towards the sky. Good, lovely. And now we're going to bring the whole of the body forward onto the plank pose. Whole body forward onto the plank pose. Okay, so careful, so you want that the body is straight. Yeah, so you're not dipping down, and you're not too up, you're somewhere in there. Breath here, knees down onto the ground, and then you can choose how you come into cobra. So you could do the classic way where you bend the elbows, you take the chest, and you open up. You could have done it like that, or you could have done it how we did it before, and I've widened my hands again, and I'm up in cobra. Good, couple of breaths here, lovely. Jaw nice and relaxed. Exhale down to the ground. We're going to push up. A moment in child where you could just kneel. Lovely, coming back up into all fours. And we're going to go back up into dog from here. So taking the heels back. Sorry, not the heels. The buttocks back. Back towards the heels. And before they touch the heels, we're just going to pop up into the dog pose. And from here, we're going to take 2 steps and join to the hands until the 2 steps with the feet to the hands, coming into just a forward bend. And our forward bend, the legs are slightly bent, okay? And I'm moving this area, my pelvic area, moving it up towards the sky. And moving it up towards the sky. Okay, and then just allowing the head to be completely relaxed. And so there's a bit of work here. Good. And now I'm going to come up to standing. I'm going to bend the knees more, look up with my eyes, my back is nice and straight. I'm going to inhale, take the hands to the sky, pushing up. Exhale down. So I'm going to turn to face you so you can see me a bit better. So we're going to move into our mountain pose. So feet are just going to, I've got a little bit of space between my feet. If they're closed, I feel off balance. And we're going to look at our toes. I'm going to open the toes as wide as we can. And we're going to see if I can balance my weight on my feet. And then I'm going to stretch my feet. There's a stretch in the feet. So just feel like I'm almost stretching the heels out to the back. Okay, good. So I'm really connecting into the ground. And this is a really simple practice that you can do every day if you want to feel grounded. It's a really good practice for grounding, especially if there's any kind of anxiety or any difficult feelings. Grounding is a really, really useful tool. And there can be lots of different ways to do it, and this is one of them. So really feeling barefoot in contact with the ground. It could be indoors, outdoors, in nature if possible. So I'm growing roots through the soles of the feet down into the earth. And perhaps from the top of the head, there's almost, I can feel like almost can imagine a thread pulling me up towards the sky. So rather than working on having a perfect posture, we can just really allow the body to grow and open. There's a sort of feeling of openness in the back of the neck, relaxing the jaw, perhaps closing the eyes. Shoulders are down, neck is long. My knees are ever so softly, there's a softness in the knees, and that connects my feet to the pelvis. And I'm just gently breathing. And now taking the hands to the chest, taking the hands to the chest. And we're going to do 3 breaths with the arms up to the sky. So I'm going to take 3 breaths and inhale the arms up, look at the hands. Exhale down. And I'm going to repeat, do it again 2 more times. Inhale up. Down. And 1 more time. Inhale up. Exhaling down. Good. I think we might have done this last week, but we're going to do it again because I love it so much. So I'm going to inhale both arms up to the sky. And I'm going to imagine I have a rope ladder, and I'm going to inhale and stretch up one arm and hand. Inhaling and exhaling that arm down, and then doing the other side. Inhaling up, so as if I'm climbing up a rope ladder. There's a really nice side stretch here. Inhaling up, stretching up. Exhale. And again on the other side. Moving down. And again. Stretching up, exhaling down. And on the other side. And just one more time on each side. Exhaling down, and I'm going to exhale both arms down to the sides. Okay, come back to the standing pose. And I'm going to widen the legs. So we're going to do the triangle Trikonasana pose. There's 2 ways to do this. We'll do one way this week, and then maybe next week we'll look at the other one. They're different ways of doing the same pose. So first I'm going to turn my right foot to the right side. Right foot to the right side. And then I'm going to swivel slightly my left foot inwards. Okay. And I'm going to see if my hips are quite sort of centered here. Okay, and my legs are straight. So normally we do this pose with the legs straight. If you need to bend the legs, the front leg, that's okay. Okay. And I'm going to stretch the arms out to the side. Okay, stretch the arms out to the side. Make sure they're even. The back arm tends to fall down a bit. And then from here, I'm just going to gently lower the right hand to the right thigh and start to move the left arm up to the sky. Okay, the left arm up to the sky. So at the moment, I've got my hand on my right thigh. If you're practiced at this pose and you're flexible, you could take the hand much further down towards the ankle or even the foot and stretch the arm up. So this depends a little bit on what's really important in this pose is that the chest is open and up towards the sky. If your chest is falling forward, then you want to come up to here. Okay, so it really depends a little bit on how your upper body is. And you could also twist your head and look up at the hand in the sky. Look up at the hand in the sky. Taking a few breaths here. And then we're going to inhale back up to center. Great. Exhale the arms down. And to do the other side, we're just going to swivel the feet round. We're going to swivel the feet all the way round. Straighten the legs, center the hips. Good. Stretch out the arms. Inhale here. Exhale, I'm going to come down, and again, however far you come down really depends a little bit on your chest and how open it is. So you want a really open chest, almost moving up to the sky. Okay, so if I come down to the floor, I lose that bit, so that's too low for me. Okay, so I've got my hand on my lower leg. Yours might need to be a bit higher. And then you can swivel the head and look at the hand. Taking a few breaths here. And inhaling, coming all the way up now. Exhaling the arms down. Great, Kathleen, really good work. Fantastic. And we're going to bring the feet parallel. Okay. So we're going to finish off with this pose now before we come back down to the ground. And so I'm going to ask you to put your I'm going to ask you to look at me first, actually, and watch me. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a wide-legged forward bend. Okay. So when we do this normally, oh, Paul seems to have joined us there for a moment.
Just his photograph.
So when we do this pose, if you just have a look, Kathleen, and anyone else, when we do this, when I do, I want you to watch the back of my legs. This is how we do this pose normally. Okay, can you see that the whole of the back legs and the buttocks go back,
Yeah.
backwards? Did you see that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. So now I'm going to do it another way. Keep watching.
Yeah.
Keep watching. And I'm going to do it so that that doesn't happen and the legs don't move their position. So to do that, I need to bring all my weight forward onto my toes instead of on the heels. And then gently and slowly, I'm going to bend forward very slowly, because now I have to pay a lot of attention because I want my legs to be completely still and no backward movement. Can you see the difference?
Yes. Yes.
It's quite hard. It's not easy. And there's a feeling that I might fall forward, but I'm not going to let myself fall forward. And I'm actually only going to come down to here, because any more and it's not going to work. And then I'm going to come up and I'm going to keep the legs in that position. So when you come up as well, lots of attention to not move backwards. As soon as I relax my tension, I start to move back. So it's really, the trick is keeping the weight on the front of the feet. So it's quite hard work on the legs, much harder than how we do it normally. So really bringing the attention to the front of the feet, hands on the hips. And we're going to start to bend gently and slowly forward. I'm not going to fall. I'm going to stop myself from falling, but all my weight is on my toes. So it's a really different way of doing it. A lot more work in the legs. Really good for my legs to do this. Keep breathing. I'm going to see if I can see you a little bit, Kathleen. I can't see you because you're... Looks good, looks good. Don't come too far forward. Don't worry about how far down or forward you come. It doesn't matter. Whenever you feel you've gone far enough, start to bring yourself back up. Same attention. Oh, you lost the attention. You came up really fast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So let's do it again.
Okay.
When you come up, I want you to see if you can come up in the same way. Even go a bit slower. Feet all the weight on the front. Good. So you see there's a lot more work on the legs. And it takes a lot of, there's a lot of awareness in the body. And as soon as you feel you've gone as far as you want, come up in the same way, same amount of attention. Your legs aren't going to move back. Good, lovely, beautiful, Kathleen. Fantastic. Really great. Well done. Quite challenging, right?
Well, because I'm not walking out, that's a really good one for me.
Yeah, really good. Okay, so if you're not walking a lot, good practice for the legs.
I can't go out of the house.
Yeah.
So that is good. I've been working on my legs with my practice.
Good. So you could add that one in if you want.
I will. Thank you.
Okay, so from here we're just going to come back down into forward bend, but a normal one. So stretching the arms up to the sky. Inhaling up. Really nice stretch in the body. Exhaling all the way down to the ground. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Coming into a forward bend, knees bent. And from here we're just going to bend a bit further and walk our hands forward into dog. And come up onto my toes with a slight bend on the knees. And I'm back in my dog pose. Great. Taking a couple of breaths here. Now allowing the head to drop. And I'm just going to bring the knees down to the ground. Really nice. Okay, good. So I'm just going to find myself a cushion. Okay. We're going to come into a seated pose. We're going to take our legs out, extend the legs out in front of us now. Extend the legs out in front. Okay, and just because we've done lots of work on the legs, we're going to bend the legs now. So they're extended but slightly bent. Okay. I've got a slight bend in the legs. I'm on my heels really. Okay, and I'm just going to stretch my arms up to the sky. And I'm going to exhale down to my thighs and grab hold of my ankles or my feet. So I'm actually touching my thighs because my legs are bent, or nearly, if you don't reach. And I'm just going to let the head drop forward and take this forward bend as a resting pose for now. And coming down now into this forward bend, this inward moving posture, coming down onto the breath, connecting with the breathing. And now we could just gently start to slide the feet forward and start to stretch the legs. And we may move away. We don't have to fully stretch them. We could just slide those heels forward ever so slightly. And if we feel that we have the space in the back, we could keep sliding them until the legs are stretched. We might come up and we might want to open the chest a bit so that we're not overly rounding the back and actually we're working the lumbar spine, we're stretching it. So I'm almost moving the belly towards the lower belly towards the knees. And I'm coming forward rather than down. If it's too much for the legs, if they're quite tired, keep them bent. And then gently now coming back up into a seated position. Coming back up, Paschimottanasana that was, or a sort of adapted version of it. And we're just going to come into a nice seated straight position for a moment, connecting the sitting bones with the ground. And then as we did before, just rising up towards the sky. So we're not trying to create the perfect posture, stick the chest out. We're just growing tall. And as we grow tall, we can also relax. So it's not a stiff, sort of upright posture. It's quite relaxed and there's a feeling of growth moving up. If it helps to imagine a thread pulling the head, you could do that. You could try with that image, it might help. Okay, good. And then I'm going to take the cushion away. And I'm going to walk my hands slightly backwards. My fingers are facing forward and I'm going to come into, my legs are now quite relaxed. And let go in the legs. And I'm going to push up in the chest. Pushing up in the chest. So my lumbar spine is quite nice and relaxed. And I'm just really working into the chest. In this pose, so I'm pushing down into the floor. And another way, we could come down onto the elbows if you have the flexibility. If not, stay where you are. And again, pushing down through the elbows, bringing the chest up. Again, my legs are now quite relaxed. We've done lots of work on them, so we might just choose to relax them. Pushing down into the ground, opening the chest. And the head is, I have the head, I'm sort of not extending the neck back, the head back, partly because my cervical spine doesn't like it. But I can slightly look up. And then gently now, if you're down on your elbows, coming back up onto the hands and coming back up. Okay. So now we're going to lie down and we're going to do the bridge pose. Okay, so we're going to lie down on the ground. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of final work, both of the legs and a little back bend. So again, a little bit of work in the legs here. So I'm going to bring the legs towards the buttocks. Kind of about a palm between the buttocks and the heels. Okay. So, and I now want you to, the legs are hip width apart. And we're going to see if practice focusing on pushing up through the legs and the feet and not coming up by lifting the hips. There's a tendency in this pose to lift the hips up as a way to come up. And we're going to see if we can do this differently. So I'm going to ask you to bring all your attention onto the feet and really feel the feet connecting with the ground. And so the feet are kind of heavy. And in this heaviness, we're going to start pushing down into the feet, using the thighs. And the hips just gently float off the ground with no effort. So there should be a feeling of lightness in the back. Doesn't matter how far up you come. What's important here is that the work is in the feet and the legs. After the work we've done, it should be quite easy. The knees are parallel. And we're coming up towards the shoulders. So again, if you're lifting up through the back, see if you can just relax that and keep the work all in the feet and the thighs with a real sense of pushing down into the ground. And we're sort of, the shoulders are really connected to the floor. And we could open the arms up towards behind our heads on the floor. do keep them at the sides. And so we're up here in bridge pose. Lots of work happening in the legs and the feet. Strong work in the legs and the feet. Back is really nice and relaxed. It's just responding. It's not doing anything. The heart center is also nice and relaxed. And then gently coming back down, vertebrae by vertebra. And slowly coming back, allowing the feet to meet the floor, bringing the arms down. And just enjoying that renewed contact with the ground, with the back, feeling the back resting into the floor. Okay, we're going to do it one more time. Yeah. So again, taking all the attention into the feet and really allowing the feet to feel heavy and drop down into the ground. And then allowing, pushing into the floor as we just gently allow the hips to float up. There's no work in the back. The back is still, is quiet. It's the legs and the feet that are really doing the work here. Good, good. And our shoulders are really in contact with the ground. In fact, I kind of feel like I want to put my hands on towards my chest, my lower, my ribs. That feels like quite a nice place. And I'm working, lots of work in the legs, lots of work in the feet. Back stays really, really gentle, really soft. Good. And then just taking a couple more breaths here. And now gently coming back down to vertebra by vertebra. We're going to start to pull, gently come back down to the ground. Until the back connects with the floor again. Okay. And from here, we're going to come into our relaxation pose, posture, our Shavasana. If you feel like there's some other movement you need to do, so if you need to do another passive twist or something else, then go ahead and do it. So listen into your body, listen into what your body needs. If it needs to do another movement, go ahead and do that. And otherwise, I'm just going to invite you to start to prepare yourself for Shavasana. For the relaxation pose. Okay. Great. So I can see Kathleen, you're already there. Okay, so I'm just bringing up a poem I found, or I heard, rather, that I really like. And so just inviting you now to find the space and just settling into Shavasana, the relaxation pose, just allowing the body now to come fully into contact with the ground. And just bringing the attention down onto the body. I'm just going to read a poem called Clearing. Do not try to save the whole world or do anything grandiose. Instead, create a clearing in the dense forest of your life and wait there patiently until the song that is your life falls into your own cupped hands and you recognize and greet it. Only then will you know how to give yourself to this world so worth of rescue. So just allowing these words to sink in now, beyond the mind, into the depths of your being. And like a deep well, and just seeing if you can find a way to relax even more. Knowing the earth is here to support you in your practice. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Just a gentle space for the body to rest. And so now gently we're going to start to come back. So just inviting you to start wiggling the toes a little and the fingers. And I'm going to invite you to keep the eyes closed for now. Keep the eyes closed for now. And now gently starting to turn the body to lie on the right side. So not sitting up yet. Keeping the eyes shut here and just having a few moments here. And now when you're ready, just gently starting to move up into a seated pose, seeing if you can keep the eyes shut still. Seeing if you can still keep the eyes shut as you move into a seated pose. Okay. Lovely. Taking your time, no rush. Now I'm going to get you to bring the hands together and rub them hard together. And then take them to the eyes and cover the eyes with the hands. And now gently opening the eyes in the hands. And then gradually, slowly dropping the hands down and away from the face. And coming back. And we're finishing here. So just a moment to thank you. Oh, flies all over me. And say namaste.
Namaste, Jackie.
Very much.
It was lovely.
And we finished. Just stop the recording.